Hello everyone. So we have been exploring the UI toolkit. The Unity is a new UI rendering system, and in our last two tutorials we have seen how to build a UI using the new UI elements and in UI builder, and we have also seen how to render those UXML files in the scene using the PanelRenderer game object. And now we're gonna see how to navigate from one panel renderer to another panel renderer. This will be useful if you're having multiple panel renderer to reach your scene, game scene, or if you're building any 2D apps. So let's go and find out how to do it. So we are just starting from where we left in our last tutorial. So this is the login screen which we have created, and this is the login panel renderer. And in order to go to the next panel, we just need one simple UXML file and one button. For that, I'm going to go to the UI builder. Okay, this is our UI builder. Let me stop running this. And I am going to create one new UXML. Go to UIToolkit and create a UI document. I'm gonna say game page. So I'm gonna click this, and let me just check what is the resolution. Okay, it's 1080p resolution. I'm gonna keep the same resolution for this too, with this 1080, and the height is 1920. Okay, all good now. So now I'm going to add some simple button in here. And I'm just gonna put it in the middle, and let me change the text font size as well. I'm gonna say it's 60. I'm gonna change the button text as go back, and we can also have one label to show game scene loaded. I'm gonna change the font size as 50. And I'm going to increase the margin to bring it into center. Let me say 100. And let me increase the margin of this to 100. In order to bring it in the middle, let me increase the top margin to 300. I think this should be fair enough. And I'm going to change the background color as well. For that, we need one virtual element, and I'm going to move this button and label to the children of this visual element. I'm gonna say this as BG. background. I'm gonna change this color, background color, to something. Why I'm always choosing red. Okay, this time we'll go with yellow. Okay. So let's say button name as back button. Okay, we have created the simple UXML page for the game view, and so once we click the sign in button, if the user is authenticated, then it will load this screen, and once you click this go back button, it will again go back to the login page. So that's what we're gonna do now. Let's see how to do that. And now I'm gonna create one C# script. Just go create and click C# script, and gonna say game page script. And this is our script. Let me increase the font size to 225 so that you'll be able to see it clearly. And we don't need the start and update. So I'm going to copy and paste the code which we have done yesterday. I mean, these are the common for all the panel renderers. So this is our game page C# script, and on enable we are going to get the panel renderer component, and we are going to add this action to the post UXML reload delegate, and once the reload is happening, then we are going to get the button element and assign it to our class variable. We have to change it here, so we don't need this. We got only the button, and in order to fix this error, we need to add the namespaces. Oh, it should be UIElements. Okay, and then our button name is back button. Okay, we will change it later. We don't need any parameters here. And okay, what we're gonna do, we are gonna add one UI manager which will know all the panel renderers that could navigate from one panel renderer to another panel renderer, and it can transform, I mean, like from one panel renderer to another panel renderer. We are going to implement code for that in that UI manager. Let's have one more C# script. I'm going to create one UI manager. We will come back to this script a bit later after we're implementing the UI manager. So I am going to create the public variable to get the all the panel renderers into this UI manager. So PanelRenderer. I'm going to give the name as login renderer, as login ren, and I'm going to copy paste, rename it as game renderer. Excuse me. And I'm going to add one function. Say load game. Here I'm going to copy the code which I have got from the Unity sample application. For transitioning the panel renderer. So this is the subroutine of transitioning the screens. So this takes the input as from panel renderer to panel renderer, and the parameter from is like the current panel, and the to parameter is the panel which you wanted to be shown next. So you don't have to change anything in this code. Just add the namespaces. I will also copy this code in description, or I will also share the link of the sample code. And here inside the load game, you need to call this function in start code routine, transition screens, and pass the parameter from and to. So here I wanted to load the game panel when the sign in button is clicked, and we are also going to add one more function for going back to the login page again. For that I'm going to add one more function which is back, and here I'm going to mention from is game renderer and to is login renderer. So this is very simple. You just need to mention your panel renderer here, then everything will be taken care of by Unity. So the two functions are implemented now. So here we need to add this component to one game object, one common game object. For that we are going to the normal scene mode, scene layout. So here I'm going to have one empty game object. Let me say UI manager, and add this UI manager component, and I'm going to drag this inside the UI manager so that it will be child of the UI manager game object, and I'm going to drag and drop into this login renderer variable. So now we're going to add one more panel for the panel renderer for the game view. So for that I'm just going to copy this login panel and paste it. Gonna rename it as game panel, and gonna change the UXML file to game page, and here we have given only the default.uss, which is Unity's one, so I'm gonna leave it as it is. And here I'm going to remove this login script which we have added with the login panel. We are here we are going to add the game page. So now let's go back to the game page and do some changes. So here we've got the we have got the button click event. So once the button is clicked, then we have to go back to login page. For that we have done some implementation in UI Manager. So we need to call that back function, this back function in the UI Manager. For that I'm going to get the UI Manager instance here. So I'm going to create a public variable for UI Manager. Let me say UI man, and I'm going to call the UI man dot back. If you don't want to write this function, because since since it has only one line, you can also just paste it right away here. Or I think you can put it here as well, I guess. No. Okay, it's not an action. Okay, so I'm gonna say like this for now. So here you have to map the UI Manager game object. Okay, there you go. So here you need to drag and drop the UI Manager game object. And the same way you got to do with the login panel script as well, which we created on our last tutorial. So public UI Manager, we say UI man. And if so, here we have to write if the user is authorized, then we have to call the load game, otherwise we don't need to. So it's done now, and we have to map the UI Manager here. We have to map the UI Manager game object in editor. Okay, sorry. Just drag and drop the UI Manager game object. So it's all done now. So then go back to UI Manager and then just drag and drop this game panel renderer into this. So all mapped now. So let's check how it works. Okay, I'm gonna say blob. Okay, it's not working. Although I'm typing in my keyboard, but still it's not working, because still there is a problem in Unity UI rendering system. I don't know what's the issue. For that, what you have to do, you need to you need to keep only one panel renderer in active mode. Rest of the panel should be in inactive mode. Then only if there is two panel renderers, and if two panel renderers got two different event system, then it's not picking up any of the keyboard or mouse events. So for that, we have to disable the panel renderer, which you don't want to render at the first place. You just need to enable only the one panel renderer which has to be displayed as a first initial panel. So I'm going to disable this, and mainly you have to disable these two, because I'm enabling these two in the panel transition, transition screen code. If you can go and check it out. So I'm just disabling these three. So once the transition has happened, then this got enabled. So now let's go on check. See, now it's working fine. I'm gonna say bala, it's not the right user, so it should throw an error. It's a invalid user here. So now I'm gonna say bala blob, it's a right user, so it should authenticate and load the next panel. There you go, it's loaded. User is authorized. And if I should click here, go back, so it's loading the login panel as well. You can see here only at a time only one of the panel renderer is getting enabled. See, so now you can see here the login panel renderer is inactive, as well as that panel renderer component and event system component are inactive. Here all are enabled now. So this is the way it is working properly, because I did some experiment and it was not working. So this is the workaround at the moment. I don't know, I mean, like what's gonna be in the future releases. So this is the basic implementation of navigating the panel, and that brings to an end of this tutorial. And yeah, we have almost done the basic stuffs which you can play around with the UIElements, which is now called as UIToolkit. And you can go and check all the other elements and create some good stuffs using the latest Unity's UIToolkit. Cheers, thank you.